So, Zach, did you you said you were going to get the track done this week, right?
Well, I started it, and I have to be honest, something came in the mail that ruined all productivity. So why don't we get the video up and going, and I'll show you.
Oh, man.
Move this microphone out of the way.
It's an HVAC unit from the inside of a car dashboard.
I got my proton pack.
Look at you.
So I ordered it on Father's Day, and it just now arrived. So I can start fulfilling my childhood dream of building a proton pack. And you know what? When a proton pack shows up in the mail, you don't have time to write a song.
Or work on silly podcasts.
Yeah, what? That, that is like, I'm going to be able to catch ghosts. I mean, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, man. That's amazing. So how much, because it looks pretty incomplete, so you've got to paint it and wire it and do all that kind of stuff, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So for those that can't see, basically what I'm holding is just a hunk of, it's a fiberglass shell. And I have to drill, some of the holes are already cut out for me, but I had to drill that one and this one up here. But yeah, I have to affix all the wires and other ephemera to the pack, and I will prime it and sand it. And it's going to take a lot of work. And then I can take it off this metal back, and that's where I'm going to install all the lights. And it's going to have 2 speakers. It's going to have like a woofer down in the bottom, and then a tweeter up here.
You gonna
so
go
I can walk around?
Jensen, Celestian? What are you thinking?
I don't know. I honest to God, I tried to find neodymium drivers so it would be as light as possible, but they were all like crazy expensive. So no.
Dude, you legitimately should document this and make a YouTube series out of it.
I am. I'm gonna start videoing it because all I've done right now is drilled 2 holes. So yeah, that's gonna be something that I'm planning on doing. So,
I'm so excited to see that. Oh my God.
So we're at episode 12.
Wow.
Right? Dipped in tone.
What a time to be alive, huh? Look at us.
Look at us.
Every time I say that, I think of Paul Rudd. Look at us, huh? Who'd have thought? Not me. Not me. Shout out to our Discord chat. Everyone hanging out. We were kind of last minute this morning, and we've still got a good group of people in here in the chat hanging out. So if you want to join us on Discord, you can join our Patreon. Link down below. It's $2 a month. Luke from the Toe Nerds just dropped my favorite GIF in here, the Paul Rudd. Who'd have thought? Not me.
Hey.
Yeah, and so you can join up and join us on Discord and listen in and comment live with us while we're recording these episodes and be a part of the show.
Yeah.
It's great.
Why aren't you here right now?
Yeah,
that's
why
all
aren't
I have
you
to
here?
say.
And, we're doing better about guilt shaming people into subscribing to our YouTube channel, so let's keep that train going. If you haven't subscribed, you need to.
That's right. Like half of the people that listen aren't subscribed, so make it happen. Why don't you?
Yeah,
you don't have an excuse.
Just do it. It's not hard. Just click a button. Come on. Do you have commitment
So
issues?
Rhett,
Is that a thing? Do we need to work on it? Do we need to talk about it? We'll get there.
That'll be the next episode. So you saw what I have going on.
Yeah.
I also got the PlayStation 5, which I plugged in and made sure it worked, and that's about as far as I got with that. But what's going on in your week?
I had a good week.
Whatever.
I got a new guitar from Fender. I got a Esquire, one of the 70th anniversary Esquires, which is very, very cool. I've been wanting one for a while, and so they sent one out, which is awesome. It's a ripper, man. It's super light, really good weight. And I want to do some kind of video about single pickup guitars because there's something to them, man. There's something to just having one pickup, one magnetic field versus 2. It seems to be more resonant, seems to have more sustain. They seem to be louder. Yeah.
Yeah. I did get the picture from Matthew over at Novo of a Solus body hanging completely painted, and it's mine. So
yeah,
I'm about to get another single pickup guitar. But you're totally right. What color is the Esquire that you got?
It's white, and it's over an ash body too, so you can kind of see the ash through the white under. And I did that because I love Vince Gill's. What is his? A 53 Blackguard in white.
But yeah, I don't know what year his Esquire is.
Yeah, but I got it because I love Vince Gill's white telly. I think it's a great color combination on like a telly or an Esquire. So yeah, extremely lucky, extremely fortunate. Fender did give it to me, so in all transparency, it was it's somewhat of a sponsored thing. So do with that information what you will. But yeah, I'm really excited to have it.
And you just dropped the Tweed video, which is really cool, where you interview Joe Bonamassa.
I did. That was actually really cool. So the way that came about was I was working on the video last week. Why are guitar players obsessed with vintage gear? And I thought, like, man, who else should I get for this video? And I was like, oh man, Joe Bonamassa would be great. Didn't know him, didn't have his information. But I knew some people that knew him. So I started kind of asking around, putting some feelers out, and got in touch with him. Incredibly nice guy. His schedule wouldn't allow for us to do the vintage guitar video, so I got him for the Tweed video, which I think worked out really well. It was awesome, man. We chatted for like an hour, and incredibly nice guy, incredibly knowledgeable, and incredibly gracious to take an hour of his time to talk to me about Tweed amps.
Sure. Yeah, we were talking about this privately, but Joe, he's a walking encyclopedia when it comes to. I don't know if I've ever met another person, and that's counting like Walter Carter and George Gruen, and like those guys know a ton, but Joe is up there with knowing everything, like how to like pot codes, speaker codes. Like, I don't know if you know this, but certain Tweed amps, like of certain years, the Tweed went in different directions, and like that's another way of dating it. And Joe knows all that stuff, so he's crazy how smart that guy is.
Yeah, to be as good of a guitar player and musician as he is, and to know all that stuff, he's got to be on like the genius level. Something like
he's a savant with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as a player goes, like or hate what he does, like the guy can rip a guitar.
Oh my God, yeah, and his tone and feel. For me, it was a genuinely like humbling and cool moment to get to talk to him. And because I remember like being in music school 10 years ago and like transcribing Bonamassa solos, and then my dad and I went to go see him in Atlanta in like 2012, 2013, and we sat like 2 rows from the stage, which is just another way of saying we were in the second row. I don't know why I said it that way. And then I got to play on the Keeping the Blues Alive tour, the cruise, the blues cruise back in like 2017 with Muddy Magnolias, and then now got to talk with him and interview him for the show. And yeah, it was really, really cool, sort of full circle moment for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's a nice guy. He really is.
Yeah. So I'll give you a good coffee salute there, Mr. Bonamassa.
There you go.
All right, what's on the agenda for today there, Zachary?
Well, the biggest thing that happened this week, and it was this week, right? Chase Bliss, Zvex, and Earthquaker Devices and Death by Audio both teamed up to release some limited edition pedals for the Pedal Movie on Reverb, and these were Reverb exclusives. I think there were like 1,000 each.
Right.
And basically, Chase Bliss released the Bliss Factory, which is a collaboration with Zvex, and it's essentially the most feature-laden fuzz factory that has ever been or will be. And then Earthquaker and Death by Audio released the Time Shadows, which I think is just some sort of like weird filtered modulation echo thing. It's really, it's way more trippy and kind of gets outside the realm of what I understand.
Yeah.
If anybody in the chat knows exactly what it does, please describe it to me.
Yeah. So I was paying attention to the Zvex Chase Bliss thing, but the Earthquaker thing, the Time Shadows, is kind of it's a new thing for me too. I've just got it pulled up here on the old Instagram here. It looks really interesting. I love this whole concept of brands collaborating. And on the Zvex thing, on the Chase Bliss Zvex thing, I kind of knew about it, but I didn't know when it was going to go on sale or anything like that. But I was planning on purchasing one. But that was the day that I was finishing up the Tweed video, so I had my head buried all day working on the edit, and I didn't check Instagram until like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And as soon as I checked Instagram, I saw that they were completely sold out, which was astonishing. I mean, they sold out in what, like an hour, 2 hours?
I think the guys in the chat may be able to clarify, but I think it was 4 hours or maybe an hour. Yeah, I don't know, but it was 1,000 pedals, like, and I think Earthquaker and Death By sold all theirs, and I think they had 1,000 too. But
yeah,
just astonishing, 1,000 pedals that in 1 hour. Yeah, okay, 1 hour. Like I've sold 100 pedals in a day. And that was like the most stressful thing I've ever done. But mine weren't built. Theirs were already built. So
right.
Thank God for that. But
yeah.
Just astonishing. And well, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to try. I was really bummed out because I love fuzz. Fuzz pedals are probably like the one thing that I get a little bit, I don't know how you would describe it, unreasonable about. I get really excited about fuzz pedals, and I get sort of willing to pay more than I should for a fuzz pedal and all that kind of stuff. So when I saw this collaboration happening, I was really excited. There's rumblings of a second run happening, and if it does, I will be on that list and buying one of those pedals.
Yeah, so that kind of brings us to what happened right after all these pedals were sold. So because they were already built, and I think Reverb in Chicago facilitated the shipping of most of these, and I know that within like a day or so, almost all the Chase Bliss pedals were shipped, which is again astonishing. But as soon as they started showing up at people's homes, they started showing up again on Reverb, because the Bliss factory was not cheap. It was like $400.
Yeah.
And literally within a couple days, they were back on Reverb for floating around $800 or $700 plus $700, which, it's a limited thing. I get it. But at the same time, I saw Joel, because we're friends on Facebook. He posted like a post saying, hey, that's not really cool. And he did like a poll asking if they could do another run or they should. And that kind of upset the apple cart a little bit, because, it sucks to buy something just to flip it and take advantage of people. But the people that bought it because of the exclusivity and how limited it is kind of got grumpy because, it's just going to be a thing I can buy.
Right.
So, but I see it in the chat. They're potentially going to be another color.
Yeah, it's a complex issue. So, Beto said they kind of confirmed a second run, not the same color though.
Right.
And then Theories in the chat said some dude here in Canada is selling one for $1,150 Canadian.
Oh my gosh.
Which, to be fair, so there's this thing happening specifically around Chase Bliss, because I have the Automaton, the Preamp Mark II, and I've seen these are going on Reverb now for, I've seen some people asking $1,100, $1,200 for these. That doesn't mean that's what they're selling for, obviously, but still, they're, anytime there's a limited run of stuff, there's people that buy it just to try and flip it. And to me, it's like, all right, I get it. It's well within your rights to do so.
Sure.
And if somebody's willing to buy it from you for that price, then by all means, sure. But yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I'm not a big fan of buying gear just to flip.
Right. Is the Automaton, is that limited? Are they?
I think, yeah, I don't know they're still making them.
Oh, really?
Hold on.
Oh,
let me look.
That's kind of surprising. I thought that was going to be just like a normal product in the line. But yeah, I honestly, I've done it before. I've bought things and tried to flip them, but I always like played it, like if it was something I really liked, I would have kept it. But I've bought things and just decided, this isn't for me, and then tried to flip it for a profit because it was exclusive.
Right.
So, the the pot calling the kettle black here, but I do think just buying it to try to take advantage of people who really want it is kind of lame.
Yeah, so here's one Automaton Preamp Mark II selling for, or asking $1,000 for it in supposedly mint condition.
Well,
the prices on these are all over the place though, because I've seen, here's one listed for 1,022 as brand new, one mint for 1,000. Here's one 851 for brand new, 729 in excellent condition, 960 in mint condition. I mean, they're just all over the place.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but the collaboration thing is really, really cool, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool when two people can really bring something unique to the table together. Which, I mean, basically doing anything with Chase Bliss, those guys, like, the sky's the limit with what they can do. Obviously, you know, look at all the stuff they've created. So, like, anybody that can collaborate with them, you can do something cool. Sometimes doing collaborations, because, I mean, trust me, I talk about this all the time to fellow builders. It's hard to come up with something new and unique and do something interesting. So I think it takes a special breed of company and builder to come up with something that is worth the effort, because it's a lot of work doing a collaborative design. So
right. Yeah. But I think it's good for the pedal world. You know, we were talking about this before we jumped on, and we're kind of entering, I think, a new era in guitar pedals. We've got, I feel like, the basics pretty well covered at this point. Everyone does a tube screamer. Everyone does a clon. Everyone does a blues breaker. Everyone does an analog delay, a digital delay. I mean, stuff that 10 years ago would have been seen as exciting, I think nowadays is just sort of run-of-the-mill sort of things. And they're starting to get cheaper. I mean, you look at the JHS 3 series, for example, where you're getting a lot of these circuits from a boutique company made in America that are way more accessible and way less expensive than they would have been 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So now what we're starting to see is people sort of pushing the limits and coming up with new ideas and collaborative workflows and on their own. And we're starting to see really, really cool shit. like the Automaton, or like a lot of the stuff that Strymon's been doing. I feel like Strymon was really one of the first companies to start kind of pushing the envelope, so to speak, on a large scale. But yeah, I think as a guitar player, I'm really excited to see where stuff is headed in the pedal world. But I want to know, as a pedal builder, where are you at with all this stuff?
Well, like I was saying, it's really exciting to be able to come to someone with an idea and be able to run with it and actualize something that you might not be able to do on your own. For me, though, because I've talked, I talked to a lot of my buddies about doing stuff like this. Not necessarily anyone this big. Most of the other pedal builders that I am close to and have talked about collaborating with are much smaller brands, kind of like me. And like, I struggle with it, because for me, I just want to talk to someone who is good at doing one thing, and then we can work together to steer, like, and if somebody came to me, like, we could steer our strengths into a direction to where, basically like what we did with the Lark. That was a collaboration.
Yeah.
You know, like doing something like that. But as far as like coming up with something wild and crazy, like, that is really beyond me. Like the Quaker pedal, like I don't have any idea on those ideas aren't in my head.
Right.
So I'm working on something with a fellow builder right now, and it's really hard. So like a lot of people ask me on live streams and stuff, especially when like my buddies like Lawrence Petros or Nick Greer hop in, they say, why don't you do a collaboration? Well, it's really difficult, because there's a couple things to consider, especially when you're a more boutique company. Not that I'm super boutique, but who's going to build it? Who's going to sell it?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to get the majority of the money? like who designs it?
Yeah.
How do you work that design? It's so convoluted and difficult. And basically, whenever I have approached people to do it, I throw ideas at someone and they start working on the design, and then I just am going to take like an artist cut, just like what you would take.
Yeah.
So they get the vast majority of it, and I get a very small percentage of each pedal sold because it just makes more sense for me.
Right. Yeah, and that's how a lot of signature gear, that's how those deals go down. Like I just did the signature slides with the rock slide, and those guys handled all of it. I just said, hey, here's of your slides that you make, these are my favorites. Can we do them in these finishes? And maybe make a small change here or there, and then put the RS logo on it, and that's it. And so they're handling all the heavy lifting with that stuff, and I make a very, very, very small commission off of each sort of sale, and that's great because I am not going to start manufacturing and distributing slides and marketing slides on my own, or the Lark, for example. Like, I'm not going to design my own pedal, go about manufacturing it, finding distributors and dealers and trying to sell it on my own. But when you get together with somebody like you, for example, that knows that and that's their business, I can come to you with an idea and say, hey, what if we did this and we can work together and make it happen? I understand, though, the complexity when you have two of the same people, like two pedal builders coming together to do that, because then it gets a lot more murky as far as like, well, who's going to design the circuit? Who's going to build it? How are we distributing it? How are we splitting the cash? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And not every dealer wants that kind of thing, and a lot of times the reason why I think what Chase Bliss and Quaker and Zvex and whatever, what they did was so successful is because it was limited and you can only get it one place.
Right.
The moment you start like spreading that out, then the interest really wanes, and I found that a little bit with the High Road. That was probably the first pedal that I made that really went crazy as far as signature stuff. And I can't make them fast enough to where like I just kind of stop making them. I'll make so many. And the whole point of that pedal, eventually, when I made it the mini version, was so Joey could sell it on the road.
Right.
I wanted to make him merch. He bought them like a dealer. He sold them.
Right.
Now that shows stopped, we've tried to have it where he handles them and ships it, but it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, there's no, like, he doesn't have the facility. He doesn't have a label maker and like tape and boxes and packing peanuts and like all that stuff. Yeah. I do.
Right.
So it doesn't make sense. So it, like, working with an artist, I think is a little bit more straightforward. But yeah, like the collaborative pedal stuff is just difficult to the point where there has been things that I've worked on for people where it could have honestly been a collaboration, and I just say you just take it. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. Anything that's well known in that category?
No, nothing like crazy, but like for friends, and they're like, hey, I have this idea. How would I do this? And I'll be like, well, let me whip up a circuit board or something.
Right.
And they'll be like, do you want me to put your name on it? I'm like, no, I just, buy me lunch one day or something.
I would love, though, to see you and Nick Greer do something together. I think your strengths align. Your what you guys like and how you build pedals and the types of pedals that you do build, I think it would be fantastic. I'd love to see a Mythos Greer collab.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Like I was just saying, he had an idea for a circuit, and I did the design for it, and it's coming out soon.
Yeah.
But it's not going to have my name on it. It's just
right.
He had an idea. I actualized it in a way that was easier for him to build. But you're totally right. There's a few people that when I hang out with them at NAMM and we're like playing guitar together, we're both just like sitting there going, yeah. And it's like you connect. And some people, like, you play gear with them and you're just like, isn't that cool? And you're like, yeah, all right. But then with Nick, like every time, like every new amp in a box thing, because he did the Soma 63,
so good,
which is sick.
Yeah.
And then he did the what's the Vox? The Vox one.
The Royal Oh shit! What is it called? Chat, help
Whatever
us
that-
out. The Royal something or other.
Yeah, we'll pull it up on screen. That one, Royal Velvet, is that?
Yeah, that's it.
No.
Royal Velvet.
Oh, okay. That one was crazy good.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, we both get excited to hear each other play guitar, which is like, I think that's the trick. But ultimately, you just want to work. I mean, it's just like working with an artist. You just want to work with somebody you enjoy, like talking on the phone to. Like Nick and I talk on the phone about nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and then eventually we'll talk about guitars.
Yeah, dude. So I would love to see a Mythos Greer collaboration, and I'd love to see if you did something with Beatronics. Beatronics is one of my favorite brands out there. I love everything about what they do. I love their pedals. I love the way they sound. I love their aesthetic. They have the best NAMM booth, like of all of NAMM. All of it. Beatronics has the best NAMM booth. And if you've seen it, if you've been there, you probably know what I'm talking about. But man, all their pedals, I'm a huge fan of. And the guys, I've gotten to know them over the last couple of years. They're so cool. There's just like little community of like pedal and gear people that I've gotten to know and that are just down to earth, really cool, great people. And those Beatronics guys are like that.
Yeah. Is it Philippe?
Yeah.
Yeah. We hang out at NAMM because he's all over the place. He's like everybody's wanting to talk to him and stuff. But like we just want to like talk about our kids because he's like a recent dad and like
Yeah.
His son has like the biggest hair of any child I've ever seen. It's like amazing and beautiful. But like we just like bond over that, and then I look around his booth at NAMM, and I'm like, holy shit! Like last year they had like a TV screen that had a pedal that like was routed through the video signal.
Yeah,
and they do everything themselves. It's just like
I know their
insane.
video production is insane.
Yeah.
The tracks that they write for their videos are insane. It's oh my god, it's so good from like just a production standpoint. And just the whole, I get, you and I connect over this. Like we get nerdy about aesthetics and like the whole branding side of things. And their stuff is so dialed in. Just even like crack open a Beatronics pedal and just look at the circuit board. Like everything about what they do is cool.
There is more work, in my opinion. There's more work on just the art on their pedals than they probably spend longer doing that than they do on their design. Their design's probably done, and they're like, "No, let's make it look cool." Because like you open up a Beatronics board, and it's like you wouldn't know it's a circuit board. It just looks like a piece of art on like a little fiberglass plastic.
Yeah,
it's
so
crazy.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
cool.
I love those guys.
Love it. Yeah. So now we're done shilling for Beatronics.
No, it's just like
No,
you
we're
get excited about things you like.
No, seriously, yeah. I mean, that's. I feel the same way about Beatronics as I do about Novo, and I do about Mythos, and I do about Greer, and you know, I get excited about passionate people doing really great work at a high level that is creative and artistic and unique and expressive. That gets me really fired up. I like that stuff a lot.
Yeah. I honestly, it hasn't been until recently where I felt like all of my pieces were kind of falling into place with my brand. And I think it kind of started when I redid the logo to be the new
Yep.
Go. It won't focus.
New spicy logo.
There it is.
Yep.
So like once I started doing that and like everything started falling into place more.
Yeah.
But that's hard. Like coming up with a brand image is really hard.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, I haven't figured it out. We've been trying to do it with the band, and we can't even come up with a name. We've been playing together for 6 months, and we can't even name the damn thing. So it's, yeah, I can't imagine like trying to name and do a company and develop a logo and a brand and an aesthetic. Like ugh.
Well, I think it's just like, you know, what you always hear, surround yourself by people who are more talented than you or who have like a wide skill set. Like I'm very fortunate to know a lot of really great designers and artists. And anytime I have an idea, I mock it up and I send it to them and say, is this stupid? Or, like, what would you do? And, most of the time you get some free advice, and that's invaluable. So,
Yeah, that's try and just surround yourself with people that are way better than you, even if it's not, not your thing, not your lane. I have friends that are incredible photographers and graphic designers, and when we were putting the live show together this summer, I had my favorite photographer ever, Mary Caroline Russell, come over, and she's the one that basically developed the whole lighting setup for us. I would have never come up with that on my own. All the little Philips Hue bulbs and the work lights and everything, that was totally MC that did all that. I would have never been able to do that on my own. So yeah, that's good.
yeah. I think you and I are very similar in the way that we're similar in a lot of ways. We talk about this on every podcast, but like, at least I'm very much I'll figure this out and do it myself.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing you should do 99% of the time. You should just...
Yeah, but you also have trouble giving up and accepting help?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. You know how many times my wife has tried to help me with something, and I sit down and I'm like, okay, I need you to just do that. And I'm going to walk away. I'm going to just let you do your thing because you're more than capable. You're completely talented. You're smart. Totally, you've got this. But there's that stupid part of my brain that just can't. And it's a total detriment, man. It's stupid. I could be so much more productive and get more stuff done if I could just let go and accept help. But I can't.
Yeah. My biggest thing is just taking the time to actually teach. Because like most of the things aren't hard. Like organizing all your receipts for a business. Like getting ready for tax season. That's not hard. It just takes a lot of time. But if you don't know how to do it, then you can't get it done. It's like, there's just not enough hours in the day. That's what we really need. At the end of 2020, we need to fix that.
I used to love House of Cards. Up until the last season, well, really the last 2 seasons, it was like one of the best TV shows on all of television, in my opinion. And there was one scene, I think in like season 2, where Frank Underwood, he's in the Oval Office, maybe it was season 3, and he's tired and he's laying down for a nap, and he's basically talking about the one thing he hates about being human is the need for sleep. Like the fact that we have to just shut down and not do anything for so many hours a day. And I completely empathize with that. I wish I didn't have to sleep and I could just go and do all the time.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, there have been many times where I've like almost fallen asleep soldering, and there's I mean, next to cooking, there's probably not many more many more dangerous things you could do,
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of things that are dangerous to fall asleep. Flying a plane.
Smelting mercury.
Oh, yeah. All of our our metallurgist friends, please let us know how dangerous that is.
We're about to show up on metallurgy YouTube here.
These two idiots don't know about smelting stuff.
So we got a suggestion from the chat here for a bit of a game, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
The desert island gear. Now we talk about this stuff occasionally, but we're gonna set up a few ground rules here for this. So we're gonna talk about desert island gear, what Zach and I would absolutely pick above all else to buy. The key word there is actually be able to buy. So we can all sit here and fantasize about whatever 59 Les Pauls and 52 Blackguards or whatever, but the reality is we're not going to buy that stuff.
Right.
We're not millionaires. We can't afford it. So real life working man's desert island guitar gear, guitar rig, whatever you want to do. We got the chat here pulled up, so I want you guys to jump in too. So with that, Zach, why don't you start us off?
I think working man gets kind of squiffy because some people would consider that budget not be crazy high, but I'm just gonna go with like what I would go for it, like just right now, based off the knowledge I have in my financial situation. Is that telling? Maybe, I don't know. Guitar, Novo. I would take. Can't see it. It's so dark. I would take my Ceres TCS, or some. It'd have to be a 2 pickup Novo. Definitely have to have a neck pickup because I do like them. So a TCS. The amp I think is the hardest part for me because in the back of my mind I think, well, if I'm stuck on an island, I want a really loud amp so I could get off that island and someone could rescue me. And if I had a really loud Marshall, someone might hear me. But I would probably go with the Two-Rock TS1. Now
that's a good one.
That's expensive, and I know
Yeah.
that is not your average working man guitar amp. But if I was so inclined, I could buy one if I felt like it.
I know some working players that play Two-Rock.
Yeah. Well,
It's not unattainable.
no, it's definitely not. It's only money.
It's only money.
But that amp has the cleans. It has the dirt. Have you ever played one? A TS1?
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's good.
It's dumb. It's real dumb. So I'd probably get that. And just a smattering of pedals. I would probably get... I'm so boring. I would get my Maxon 8999 because I love it.
Okay.
I love everything about it. I would have... I can't take a Klon because that's like not normal everyday thing. So I would probably take a version of the Mjolnir.
Shameless plug.
I just had this
Self
one ready.
shill.
That's right. Self shill. Hashtag self shill. And then I would have to like find the perfect Univibe. And I think that'd be good if I had that.
I have the perfect Univibe.
I know. And I was looking at his website after we did that episode, and I need to.
It's good. It's good.
So I think, yeah, Novo.
No reverb? Wait, does the TS1 have reverb? I can't remember.
I have an echo. I'll be loud enough. I'll make my own reverb on the ocean waves, as Greg Koch would say. All the flora and fauna will come to me, and I will feast on the mighty poi.
Feast upon my tone.
So yeah,
Bird of prey coming down.
Bird
right, that's
prey
pretty good.
dove.
That's a respectable rig. That is a respectable rig for a respectable man. You're probably going to get rescued with, although I don't know that the point is to get rescued. I think of these desert island situations as like kind of a Gilligan sort of vibe. Like you're there, man.
I guess, yeah. I'm such a, I want to say a Boy Scout or something. I would just try to like get enough gear to I could makeshift a boat, because the Ceres would make a hell of a paddle.
It would. It's giant.
Yeah. I could take the grill cloth off and make a sail, and oh man, yeah, those
a
two
grill cloth would make a terrible sail though, because it's so transparent.
I would layer it with palm fronds and
No, the real move. Did you ever watch Survivor Man? With, Les Stroud back in the day.
He went crazy,
dude. Did he really? Like off the?
Oh, he went total like Bigfoot nut.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's great.
Man, I used to watch Survivor Man all the time. Les Stroud was a badass. If you don't know what we're talking about, Survivor Man was a show. Started off on
Discovery.
I think it was TLC.
Oh,
right. Or Discovery Channel. It was
one of those, yeah.
Back when those channels were actually good and they weren't just reality TV bullshit shows. So it was like Bear Grylls, except it was real.
Yeah.
So they would drop him off in the middle of like British Columbia nowhere, and he carried his own camera gear, did his own shit, and they said, okay, cool, we'll see you in a week, hopefully at this point, at these coordinates, and if not, we're gonna have to go look for you, kind of situation. And there were some times that like he didn't make it, and they had to go out and try and find his ass. Amazing show. Like, God, I forget why we're talking about that, but
Oh, me escaping my island like Les Stroud.
Oh yeah. Oh no, yeah. Okay, so that was if you're gonna fashion a sail, what I would do is try and pull the Tolex off the amp, and then use the glue left over on the Tolex to like fold it up and fashion yourself a pretty great vinyl sail.
Yeah. Okay, man. I know what I'm doing this weekend. I've got Survivor Man on Amazon Prime, so I'm just gonna go watch it again.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, I know I'm doing this weekend. I'm gonna pull the Tolex
Rip
off one of my amps.
apart.
Oh shit. Okay. All right, that's good. I like
Yeah,
that. Respectable rig.
Now you go.
All right. So it's boring. I know. We talk about it all the time, but Novo. I'm going to go with a Novo. I'm going to go with my Saris J. That's the one guitar to rule them all. But I would also, on top of that, throw in probably a 335.
Oh, we can take 2 guitars?
Yeah, why not? We never said you couldn't do that.
You're right.
Beautiful. Oh, you could use the gold. You could use that as a signal.
Oh,
right?
you could use
like a mirror.
the neck plate.
Oh yeah. Nice. Yeah, so I'd go with a good 335 as well, because why not? Amp wise, I think I'd do a 5E3 Tweed Deluxe.
Really? That's it?
After doing my video last week, it reminded me, like, that to me is the one amp I think you could do everything you needed to ever do with a 5E3 Tweed Deluxe, I think, except for like super high gain stuff, but I don't play that stuff. So,
wow.
you know, because they do kind of collapse. Like when you start to hit them, push a ton of gain through them, they do kind of start to fall apart in a glorious musical way, but they're not super tight. So I might would go with either a 5E3 Tweed Deluxe, or
You're gonna have a stereo rig on this island, and like
no, I don't use stereo rigs in real life either. I think stereo rigs are kind of dumb live. Sorry, people. Yeah, the stereo rig thing. Okay, tangent. Let me tell you why I think stereo rigs are dumb. I've used stereo amps live before. There was a time, about a year, where I was taking 2 amps to a gig, and I had stereo pedal board wired up and everything, and I was like the guy playing a small club, asking the front of house engineer to mic up 2 amps and to do all the stuff. And it didn't. In fact, I think I sounded worse than just using 1 amp, because, first of all, a stereo field, a stereo image, let's say you've got a ping pong delay that you want to use live. Well, in order for that sound to translate live, your guitar has to be hard panned. So 1 amp has to be in the left side of the house, the other has to be in the right side of the house. And then the only time you're ever actually going to hear the real stereo field is if the front of house engineer has your amp mic'd up and pushed in the mix, and the person is standing essentially equidistant between the 2 mains, between the line arrays or the monitors or whatever they're listening through. So you're essentially creating a stereo field for about this much of the house. Right? So a group of people standing right in the middle. And then the rest of the people, if your guitar is mixed in a stereo field and a stereo image, are just really going to hear one side, and then you're going to have some phasing weird issues happening from the right guitar coming out of the right side. It's a mess. It's way too much gear to take to most gigs. And unless you're traveling with your own front of house engineer every night that knows how you want to be mixed and knows how to mix the show for the stereo guitar image and all that kind of stuff, which generally doesn't happen, it's just kind of pointless. Yeah. Now, running multiple amps on stage is cool if you're going to use it like a mono thing, and like what Bonamassa was talking about, mid stacking, basically using 2 amps to kind of create, to voice 1 amp to fill in the gaps of another amp. So you have, 1 amp handling the high end and the low end and another amp handling the mid range. Like, that's a totally different thing. So yes. Stereo rigs are dumb. I'm sorry.
No stereo on your island.
Yeah. No wet, dry, wet. Or what is it? That pedal show guys are talking about?
Wet, dry, wet. Yeah.
Rhett, dry. What are they?
Rhett, dry, Rhett.
Yeah, something like that. So apologies to anyone out there who's a huge stereo. It's great when you're like sitting in your room by yourself playing. It's fun, but it's not practical.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
You're still picking out your rig.
Oh shit.
You picked out your Deluxe.
So Tweed Deluxe 5E3. And then got the Novo, got the 335. As far as pedals go, tone bender. Any kind of good tone bender would work. With an Octaver, either like a Fox tone machine style circuit, which I have with the Jext Fox fuzz, or something just like an octave up, like you make the Argo. Something that plays nice with delays, with overdrives and fuzzes. Love that sound. And then
do you have an Argo?
No.
I gotta get you one. Yeah,
I will gladly. I will pay for one. I will gladly buy one. But yeah, the octave up thing has actually become a really big part of my sound over the last year. Using it with overdrives and fuzzes and stuff, I love it.
Yeah.
So 2 fuzzes, a good overdrive, probably a Blues Breaker overdrive of some type, probably the Timmy. And then honestly, I'd go Timeline for delay. Strymon Timeline, Old Faithful, do everything you need, everything you want with it. And I would go HX Effects.
That's cheating.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
We didn't set that.
Why not? It's a piece of gear that is obtainable and most working players could get.
That's true. I mean, really, if you want to just like be lost in yourself, you just take a Helix or HX Stomp or something and like just have headphones and you're done. You don't even need a rig. Like no one's there to hear it, so you might as well just play it by yourself.
Yeah. I'd go HX Effects and there's my rig. Come at me. Like that's I feel like that's a pretty respectable situation.
Yeah, and we're probably around the same money because if you had the Novo and a 335,
right,
that would balance out the Novo and my insanely. The Two Rock might kick it over the edge because
that's an expensive amp.
$5,000.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Plus a cab.
Yeah, if you wanted to go a little more budget on that, you could do the Amp Nation version of that amp.
I would probably get the Studio Pro. No offense to the Amplified Nation guy. I not throwing any shade. I know Eli from Two Rock and I really like him. So
I don't think anyone's upset by you saying
yet.
You would.
Not yet. The comments haven't been.
Oh my god.
Been typed yet.
Yeah.
I'm what did they call me? It was good.
I don't know. What are you talking about? In the comments?
The other we talked on the phone about it. It'll come to me. I said I was a thing.
Oh, about the King of Tone or something?
Yeah, and the Klon. I was I don't know. In some roundabout way, they called me like a
snob,
a highfalutin asshole. Yeah.
Man, if I know anything about Zach Broyles, it's that he's a highfalutin asshole.
That's right. Look at him. He's got pins on his jacket.
His denim jacket and his stupid hat. Look at that.
His wool hat like some D-bag walking down 12 South Nashville.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, comments. Well, the comments are a fun thing. You know, I've just stopped reading mine.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm actually happier now that I don't read my comments.
If the last 4 years have taught us anything, it's just stay out of the comment section of everything.
It's just
everywhere.
It doesn't help. It just doesn't help. You know. The thing is, the overwhelming majority of comments people are leaving are positive and encouraging and great, and that's amazing. But because we're human beings, you can have 100 comments that are positive and uplifting and encouraging, and then you have the one shitty, degrading comment, and that's the one you focus on, and then that's the one that you kind of like build your whole worldview around, like, well, everyone hates me and thinks that everything I do sucks, and yeah, it's just stupid. So don't, no, we do read the comments here on the channel, because it's usually a healthy discussion. There's a few people that get kind of shitty, but
that's okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm fine with someone getting crusty as long as we can have a crusty conversation.
Crust.
But I think that would be a good, because in the comment section, people are asking about like maybe us talking about the psychology of some things. But honestly, like, dealing with haters and trolls is something that unfortunately everyone has to deal with now.
Yeah.
If you're on social media at all. So that might be a healthy discussion, because it's something that I know you and I have talked about a lot, about how you have to get over it, and it's not easy. So
it's interesting. So, and to be fair, we're not talking about like a critical comment. I'm open to criticism. I'm open to constructive criticism, or even not constructive criticism, because a lot of times you can find growth in that. But there's a difference between being critical of someone's work and just being a dick online. Yeah. And I feel like more often than not, people cross that line to just being a dick. And yeah, people in the chat just saying, don't be a dick. Yeah, it's, and I think too that there's the thing behind it is a lot of times, because I most of the time don't respond to comments or negative comments. I don't engage with that kind of stuff. But a lot of times when I have responded, people will kind of like immediately back off and change their comment, or back off of what they were saying, because they didn't realize that, oh, they're actually reading these comments, and oh, I'm actually being responded to, and I have to kind of defend what I was saying earlier. So there's this idea that like, oh, I can kind of say what I want and I can hide behind my anonymity online, and it's like, no, man, it's real people, and these are real people reading this stuff. And so if it's not coming from a place of like, trying to be constructive, then maybe just don't say it. Or hey, if you hate what we're doing on this podcast, you hate what I'm doing on my YouTube channel, or you hate what Zach is doing on Instagram or whatever, maybe you just don't watch.
Yeah.
Like, that's an idea.
Just give us a thumbs down and move on.
Yeah, just move on. Thumbs down,
but
move on.
You're right. Like, there have been many times where like I have like reassessed like how I approach something, because someone gave me a constructive criticism. And it doesn't always have to be nice, but at least somebody can say like, hey, like, I really don't like this, and here's why. Like, that, I kind of like, I appreciate that. But when people just say, that sounds like shit, you stupid idiot, it's like, well,
yeah.
Like, why does it sound bad? My favorite comment, and this could be the last thing that my comment of the week, maybe that could, hey, maybe there's a
comment of the week. I like that.
A section.
Yeah.
But I posted the new Mjolnir.
Right.
Let's see. Which has fancier knobs, and it's got the new panel mount jacks and red LED and stuff.
Right.
With the oxblood printing. And someone said it looks too mass produced now. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, I don't understand. And I asked them, I was like, I don't understand. Like, what does that mean? I'd love to know why you think that. And they never responded. And now I'm like just in limbo about why this one person thinks my pedal looks too mass produced. So
yeah,
I can't sleep because of it.
And there are, I mean, all the time, about once a day I will just scroll through the comments, because we do have to police it. What I don't like on my channel is like when people are being shitty to other people, and it starts these huge threads of just hate between people about whatever subject. And so like I will police that kind of stuff a lot, and just kind of clear all that shit out of the air. But occasionally I'll just read just an especially stupid, just dumb comment from someone trying to pick a fight with me or someone in the video or whatever, and it's just my favorite thing to screenshot it and send it to like you or any of my other YouTube friends, and just like, dude,
Oh, there's so many. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We should get Jason from Vertex on the podcast. That was the best.
Jason
one.
from that's a good one. I sent that to him. I was like, hey, we should get Jason Marinera from Vertex and then Brett Schultz and what was your name? Zach Broilis or something like that.
It was Jack Broyles, but spelled like on an oven.
Yeah. Jack, the Tipton Doan podcast with
Tipton Doan.
God, what a good time. Yeah.
Oh well.
We haven't had any guests on yet.
No.
I think logistically that would be kind of difficult right now.
I think the only way we could do it is if like you were with somebody and we did a call like this, or I was with somebody. Because I was thinking that would be fun. Like if like somebody in Nashville, if I could go and do a thing. But we'll get there. Hopefully in a year's time we'll be able to have more people on the podcast with us.
And Bro just said, now that's Dipped in Shit podcast.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So, all right. Well, this has been great. I do like the idea that we were talking about earlier of doing like the psychology episode, because that's fascinating to me. You have some schooling in that area. Mm-hmm. The psychology of the online guitar community is fascinating to me.
Yeah. Well, I think just how crucial music is and playing guitar is to your well-being. I think that's something we could talk about. And it's not something you really, it's something you would see in like Psychology Today or, something like that, but not. Is that a magazine? I just made that up.
I don't know. It could be.
Or you don't really see it in like, Premier Guitar. So maybe we talk about it. So.
And Bro just said, Luke was saying, also caught that pedal show spelled your name Rhett Scholl with a C. So they did the timeline video, and I recorded a little like minute long thing about why I like the timeline, and they spelled my name Rhett Schull, which is fine. Here's the thing: I've been dealing with every single time I tell someone my name, like you're at a restaurant. Okay, what's the last name? Scholl. Every time they spell it with a C. So I'm not surprised, but that is, speaking of comments, that is a thing I get all the time when people comment on a video of mine, and they'll call me Brett, or they'll call me Rhett, Rett. I've gotten Rex. I've gotten Red. And it's like, okay, I don't expect you to know like who I am or any of that kind of stuff. Of course not. I'm just a dude like making guitar videos on the internet. But you did have to scroll past my name to leave the comment. And like where the comment box is, like you can visibly see the name Rhett Scholl in the thing. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I get it. People
spell your name with a K all the time.
With a K. But like I'm also an idiot and name my pedals things that are not pronounceable. So.
Well, yeah, you did bring that on yourself.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, everyone, thanks for hanging out. Good time. Another great episode in the bag. I realized I just completely opened myself up, and you opened yourself up to being trolled in the comments of this video of misspelling names and
that's fine.
All that kind of shit.
Give me the best worst spelling of my name. I'll take it. If you've watched this long, we deserve it. So.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, you guys, this has been great. Sorry, somebody's just jumped. Oh, Rob Pierce just jumped in the voice chat here, but for some reason, I need to change this in the Discord because it's not muting. All right. Subscribe if you haven't done already. You guys are great. We'll see y'all next week. This has been awesome. We'll hang out here in the Discord for a minute and chat with these guys. And
we'll see you later.